Okay, let's dive into this really fascinating paradox at the very heart of the AI revolution. It's all about Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. You've got this guy who is literally building the technology that he himself says could cause, immense harm. But his solution to that danger? That's where things get really, really interesting.
I mean, just look at that quote. It's right there, straight from the man himself. This isn't some critic on the sidelines or a professional skeptic. No, this is the guy leading the charge, and he's flat out saying he expects really bad stuff to happen because of the tech he's building. That admission, right there, is the core of the puzzle we're going to unpack today.
So, let's talk about the prophet of AI himself. Right, Sam Altman. In case you've been living under a rock, he's the face of OpenAI, the company that brought us ChatGPT. He is without a doubt one of the key architects building the AI future we're all stepping into.
So what exactly is this warning of bad stuff? Because, this architect of the future is also the one sounding the alarm. And in a recent interview, he wasn't vague about it at all. He got pretty specific about the dangers he sees coming.
He's literally bracing for really strange or scary moments. And what's so important to get here is that this isn't some far-off, hypothetical, maybe someday kind of warning. No, he's talking about the very near future, and it's being driven by the exact tools his company is putting out into the world. So let's look at his first big fear.
And that first big threat? It's deepfakes. Now, you've probably heard the term, but it's basically AI-generated media that's so good it can create a totally fake but hyper-realistic video or image of anyone. You can make them say or do anything. And the potential for chaos, misinformation, and just straight-up personal harm, well, it's massive.
And look, this is not a theoretical problem. Not at all. Take a look at what happened with OpenAI's own video tool, Sora 2. Almost immediately after it was out, people were using it to create deepfakes. They even generated these really controversial images of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It just goes to show how insanely fast this tech goes from a cool demo in a lab to something with real and sometimes messy consequences in the real world.
And Altman himself says it pretty bluntly. He's like, hey, world, get ready, and get ready fast. The idea that you can just trust what you see in a video, yeah, that era is pretty much over. And he knows it better than anyone because he's the one building the tools that are making it happen.
But his fears don't stop with just, individual fake videos. He's worried about something much, much bigger. We're talking about a kind of systemic shock, a chain reaction that could ripple through our entire society.
And to get this idea across, he uses this really powerful metaphor. He says to imagine a future where billions of people are talking to the same brain. Just think about that for a second. Billions of us all interacting with and being influenced by one single centralized AI. It's kind of a chilling picture, right? An unbelievable amount of influence concentrated in one place.
So, what are the risks there? Well, Altman talks about these super fast, totally unpredictable chain reactions. He calls it the rise of weird, societal scale things, stuff we just can't even predict right now. Basically, it's a world where we start letting computers make more and more of our choices. And before we know it, we might not be in control of where things are headed anymore.
All right, so let's recap. We've got rampant deepfakes, potential societal breakdown. He's painting a pretty scary picture. So the obvious next step, you'd think, is to call for some serious rules, right? For the government to step in and regulate this stuff. But this is where the story takes a huge unexpected turn. And this is the core contradiction, laid out right here. On one side, you have all his dire warnings. Really bad stuff is going to happen. On the other side, his proposed solution. He dismisses government regulation, saying it probably has a lot of downside. He sees these massive risks, but his answer is to just trust that society will figure it out and adapt on its own. It's a huge disconnect, which leads to the big question. If not that, then what's his actual plan?
So if regulation isn't the answer, what is? What's Altman's alternative path? Because he doesn't just leave us hanging with the warnings. He actually has a very specific philosophy for how we should handle all this.
It really boils down to this three-part plan for safety. First, he talks about coevolution. The idea here is that you can't just cook up this super powerful AI in a secret lab and then drop it on an unprepared world. Nope. Society and AI have to grow and adapt together over time.
Second, of course, is careful safety testing. This is especially true for what he calls extremely superhuman AI models down the line. And third, and this is a big one, he believes society itself will just naturally develop its own guardrails. You know, the unspoken rules and social norms we need to handle the tech.
Okay, so what does that even mean? A co-evolving future? Let's dig into that first idea a little more, because it's really the heart of his whole argument. What does it actually look like for society and AI to co-evolve?
This quote, "You can't just drop the thing at the end," really sums it up perfectly. His whole point is that the absolute most dangerous thing we could do is build some godlike AI in a secret lab and then bam, release it on a world that has no idea what's coming. He thinks it's much safer to release it bit by bit in more and more powerful versions. That way we all get time to learn, to adapt, to basically build up our collective societal immune system to it. It all comes from this core belief he has that slow, clunky governments just can't keep up with this technology anyway, and they probably just mess things up with bad rules.
So here's the takeaway. At the end of the day, Sam Altman is making a massive bet. He's betting that the messy, chaotic, organic process of all of us learning together will be a better defense against AI's dangers than any top-down law a government could write. He's picking flexible adaptation over rigid rules, basically trusting that we as a society are resilient enough to figure it out as we go.
And that, of course, leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Altman himself admits the really bad stuff is coming, and we all know this technology is moving at a breakneck pace. So can we, our social norms, our institutions, our brains, really co-evolve fast enough to handle it? That's the heart of the paradox, and honestly, the answer to that question is probably going to define all of our futures.